Is Cabrian Hayes the greatest Showdown card of all time? Honestly, maybe. Hey everyone, I'm Jeff, and welcome to Bourbon Over Baseball. We're going to be talking about the 2020 Set League, and I said if I had some time, I wanted to give some quarterly updates, how the league is going, kind of break down some of the stats, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're 6 games in our 24-game season, and there's some weird things happening, so let's just jump right in. So first of all, thank you for listening. Like and subscribe. If you have any questions about our league, shoot them in the comments. I can get right to them. Me or Bob can. Bob or I can. Oh my gosh. But then also, you'll see it on the sidebar. But if you want to see the 2020 Set League, we talk about it often. Go check the description. There's a link to all of the cards that you can download them, check them all out. Print them off just for yourself and play with them. It's great. That's what we're doing through TTS. Hopefully, maybe in person at some point. So, let's do it. Let's just hop in. I'm ready. Wanted to go through the teams really quick, the divisions, how things are shaking up here. So, overall, it's kind of going the way I thought it would go. So the division I'm in, cardboard cutouts, I'm Thanos Snappers. My team is 2-4. I think I'm an incredible 2-4. I think it should be better than that because my team, I've just been losing close games and things haven't gone my way specifically, but some things has. So maybe 2-4 is right. But, Big Dogs, Ducks in the Pond tied for first right now, which I think is pretty interesting. Ducks in the Pond seems to be a powerhouse. It's kind of what we thought. They're scoring a lot of runs, as you can see. And then, breaking down to the auto runner in second, 100 Thieves. We all knew that team was great. It was the best rated team in that division. And I went on a limb and said Judgment Day T1 800s would be the best team in that division, would get the number 1 seed. Not looking good right now. not looking good. 100 Thieves are raking, scoring a lot of points, scoring a lot of runs, not giving up a lot of runs, which is great for them. Judgment Day, I mean, their pitching is just they have they have the best pitching in the league, I think, maybe second best. I don't know what's going on. They gotta turn some things around because that is not a 1-5 team. So, but there's some reasons that's happening. I want to go into that, and then with 7-inning doubleheader. My World Series prediction winner, Angels in the Trout field, is doing incredibly well. A lot of things going well for him. That run differential is giant. 45 runs scored. That is the most in the league, and then 24 given up, which is really close to the bottom. So anyway, that's really cool. And let's jump into. I want to show you the team totals. So I want to get into some player stuff because there's some fun player stuff, but I want to show you kind of the team totals of each stat, and it's a little. It's going to look like a lot. I don't love showing a Google Sheets, but I really didn't know how else to do this. So wanted to show totals by team. So, you can see at the bottom here that we've got the average and then really just going across. And I don't want to highlight every single thing, just because there's a lot of information. But the fun ones that I've been paying attention to is really, the own chart outs, the mistake pitches, and the OPS, right? We wanted to start tracking these to see, is there correlations between your team being bad and, not getting, mistake pitches or having a ton of own chart outs? And, does that affect OPS? Like eventually I want to do some analysis there. So a couple fun things. First off, league average of own chart outs is 10.4. And my God, the Oakville Trojans have 21. And I've scored some of their games. It's been brutal, just so many. 6 games. That's what you're averaging. Like, it's like 3 to 4 own chart outs a game. It's just the worst. I feel it's our boy Kyle. I just did an interview with him. Check it out. It is not great. So he's not going to be able to compete if that just keeps happening. He's got to, again, I don't know what his lineup's doing. If I was just pitching and he has great pitching too, I'd be so angry at my dugout. So, and then, mistake pitches. I've gotten the most, tied for the most mistake pitches, me and the Angels. But I'm not taking advantage of it. I think I'm just mistake pitching into walks while Angels in the Trout field is mistake pitching into home runs. And to be clear, this is mistake pitches received. So if, the pitcher you're facing rolls a 1, this is logging as a mistake pitch received. So it's going to be really, really interesting to see how this goes for the whole season. And then, OPS, you've got 3 teams above 900, I believe, or maybe it's two. Yeah, it's two teams. So Thieves are above 900. Angels in the Trout field are almost at a average 1,000, one OPS. It's just ridiculous. So that team is very, very, very good. My OPS should not be this low. I need to start just mashing home runs. I'm getting a lot of doubles, but just not a lot of home runs. I'm below the average. My doubles is well above. I think I have the most doubles in the league, which is great. That's what I wanted. But my singles is only slightly above average. So I'm just hitting the average right now. I gotta do better. If I have way too good of batters to be average. So pitching, this again, you could dive into this however you want. Like this is taking into account all of the pitching staff, so all of the starters and the relievers. And so again, kind of some fludgy data here, but again, fun part: the mistake pitches thrown. The average is 10, but you've got the Ducks have thrown 15. They're just throwing banana balls over the plate. So wanted to go into the teams. I want to change to something a little different. One of our buddies who's been keeping up in the league, he's not in the league. Hopefully he can join it soon. Kevin S. He's a big, we're all baseball stat guys, but he's he's very into it. And he took the data from our league, kind of ran a specific regression analysis against things and, specific data points. So he put these together and they're fantastic. So let me bring it up here. And I'm gonna go full screen so you can actually see it, if I can get there. Full screen, there we go. Okay, this is great. So first thing he did, this is the first thing that he sent to us, was an analysis of OPS versus salary. So it just has that, that line is basically the average, OPS in our league versus their salary. So that's like what it should be, right? You spend more on guys, their OPS should be higher, and you spend less, that their OPS should be lower. For the most part, it's kind of, you can see there's a very solid chunk towards the middle. There's some guys are overperforming. There's some guys underperforming, but, it's nothing horrible. But my God, there's some really, really horrible ones. So, but let's go through the fun ones. So Victor Carrantini, the guy is less than 200 points and his OPS is above 1. That's fantastic. Ryan Jeffers, 300 points exactly, and his OPS is, in the 1.23 range or something. And as we get farther up here, like, my God, you've got, guys that are high points, no doubt. You're spending the money, but you're getting, comparative to everyone else, some incredible results. So Brandon Nemo's going to show up more. Dom Smith's going to show up more. Cabrian Hayes, just GOAT right now, just greatest of all time. I faced him and I wanted to intentionally walk him with bases empty. He's Barry Bonds right now, it feels like. So, and then Trey Turner has just been otherworldly. So that is just a blast there. On the bottom part, there's going to be awful players down here, below 200 points that are, not getting the OPS. That's fine. I think the fun ones is seeing who kind of, the Roman Quinns, the Victor Carantinis. But as we get farther along, and I mentioned it before the league, my Anthony Rendon pick felt like a mistake as I chose him. And my God, dude is almost he's 490 points and his OPS is like 0.2. He's not getting on base. He's not hitting. He's not getting on base, and he's not doing anything. Like, it's just, I have to imagine that things are going to bounce back, and he's going to be okay. And I've moved him a little bit on my lineup. He's batting 5th, I think now. I have a 490 point guy in my 5 spot. That's fine, but holy smokes, he has just been the worst. So, but then fun things here, you've got the top 3 guys, really top 3 hitters. Freddie Freeman's doing pretty well. A lot of doubles for him. Ronald Acuna Jr. is right on par. And then Juan Soto's a little bit below where he probably should be, but I'm sure we're going to see that flip a little bit. So let's hit the next chart here. This one's great. It's OPS versus when they were picked, which is, again, it's trends in a draft change so much. So, as you can see, we had Cabrian Hayes picked very early. He's very high. Makes sense. Trey Turner, Mike Trout, Dom Smith, like all generally early, right? Doing pretty well. The one Marcelo Ozuna should not be doing. He's not doing bad. He's just not doing what he should be doing for when I picked him and how much I spent on him. Again, I think my team has to pick it up in some places, but you've got, him, Brandon Lowe, Ty France, Miguel Rojas a little low, Jose Abreu. They got to pick it up, right? But as we get farther along, this is funny because most of it kind of averages out, but then my God, like once we get to like pick, like, and this is only batters, of course. Once we get to like pick 120, 130, that's when Rendon went, solo. And then you've got Brandon Nemo is just also going out of his mind. I mean, that's a late pick. Mitch Moreland, Alex Verdugo, all doing crazy well towards the top there. And then you get them a little bit of a slope down, kind of averages out. And then that's where Ryan Jeffers, it comes back. It's really funny to see these kind of like these big these big, valleys in between huge picks that are just, guys are performing. So, and again, major shout out to Kevin S. These are, we were having so much fun now, kind of analyzing these. So, and then last one, this is more of how is pitching going? Right. So, this is basically it's doing the bullpen ERA versus the starter ERA, and then just finding the league average. So the league average for starter ERA is I think a little over 5, a little over 5, and then the bullpen ERA is about 4. So that's the average. Then it kind of separates into these quadrants where you have good starters, bad bullpen, good starters, good bullpen, bad starters, good bullpen, bad starters, bad bullpen. So I feel bad for my boy Matt. His team, his pitching staff is just getting annihilated. He has an almost 10 starter ERA and then above 6. I mean, he's just doing bad. And then same thing with T800s. But T800s, Matt went, if I remember correctly, like he has a lot of home run pitchers. There was value to be had, and he gave some points up to get home run pitchers to spend it elsewhere. AJ, T800s, he spent money on starters. It makes no sense why he's so high. He's just been getting blasted. Mine is funny because, my starter ERA is really bad. It's the worst in the league, but that's okay because guess what? My bullpen ERA is almost the lowest. So that's exactly what I wanted to try. My starters go out on the shortest leash, and I pull them immediately. So, a lot of teams kind of around that average. You've got some good starters, bad bullpen. That's been happening. I've seen that with the Raleigh Fingers, that their bullpen just seems to blow games, and it's been happening. So, but then, my gosh, you've got the Minotaurs and the Tribe that, bullpen, start rotation doing well, bullpen doing well. I mean, that's exactly what you want. So, and then Dogs, same thing. So, going to be really, this is going to be fun to see how this changes throughout the season. So, let's hop into just how players are doing, right? I want to show, we have some league leaderboards. I want to show some specific players. I'll bring up their cards as well. So if you haven't seen them before, you can kind of get a reference point. But yeah, let's hop over to that if I can do this correctly. So quit out of that. So there's the player. So let's look at hitting leaders first, if I can get there. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit here. There we go. There he is. So first one is really he's number 1 right now. I think he's number 1, or maybe he's number 1 when I checked our current stats, but he's doing super well, and I had to put him there. So I'm just going to go down to on-base OPS first, right? I'll look at some of the other things, but Nemo is actually in our league right now number 1. That's why I pulled him up first, but he's doing crazy well. I mean, he got 2 triples in one game. He had one before, now he has 3, so that's pretty wild, but it's a great card, but it's not like anything. It's 1 to 5 out, a lot of walks, single 13, like 17 double. This card's overperforming. This card should even out, but my God, this card's doing well. But let's go to the go right now. I mean, Cabrian Hayes is somehow playing at a 700 point level. We all knew this could happen. This card is so good. It was a clearing. I think he should have probably gone number 1, right? If you can see on this list, I mean, Acuna Jr. is not there, and that was the number 1 pick. Soto's not on there, right? And I know those guys can pick things up. That's fine, but you've got people getting roles and all that, but it's not a surprise that Cabrian Hayes is here. It's not, right? It's not a surprise he's number 1. It's just funny how he just seemed to. He's been causing havoc, and we all predicted it. So, love this card. Love that he's doing well. And then let's get to some of the other guys. Trey Turner. Trey Turner has, if I jump over here, I think he has the most home runs. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he has 6 home runs. I think he had 3 or 4 in one game. Not making that up. So, yeah, he's going bananas too. And again, this chart, it makes sense why he could go bananas. Really, except for the defense and maybe the 1 to 5 out, this card is just super great. It's just really, really, really great. So, and then let's take a look at some of the other guys. So Dom Smith also on that list, doing pretty well. One of the amazing things, he's actually batting, maybe because of the on-base 8, but for the Thieves, he's batting pretty far into the lineup. I think he's like number 5 or 6. And guys ahead of him are getting on, and he's hitting them in and doing super well. I mean, the 1-2 out is just fantastic. Looking now at this card, it's worth every penny at 450. The fact that double at 12, walk at 3, yeah, not a surprise. As long as you're okay with that, on-base 8 is the biggest problem, but he's getting advantages and he's doing stuff clearly. So, and then one thing I started adding in this year was showing the team, so you can see that there's a lot of Thieves, there's a lot of Angels on here. Those teams are great, but I also want to add their salary and to say like who's here that doesn't make sense. And top 10 Ryan Jeffers 300 points, Mitch Moreland 390. But other than that, everybody else is above that 400 points, so that's not entirely crazy. But let's go through. So Mike Trout. Duh, super good. Not a surprise. The double 14 is just bananas. 15 triple, 16 home run. So, not a surprise he's here. You spent the points. That's what he's doing. So, let's take a look at some bad things. So, own chart outs. So, this is part of the reason that I think that. So, T800 spent all of their money on starters. That was the thing. Like most of their money was on their starting pitching, and I thought that would be why they would do so well. They needed their hitting to show up whenever they had the chance. And guess what? We haven't been keeping track of every time a player gets an advantage, just because that's a lot of tracking. But Nelson Cruz, just in this case, has gotten the advantage 5 times. We know, right? At least. And he's own charted out 5 times. He's 1 to 5 out. I get that it happened. Out of those 5, that should be like 1 or 2. But the 5, man, that's just at the same time. If 1 or 2 of those is own chart out, the other 1 or 2 should maybe be a home run. So it's just not working out for T800s. Nelson Cruz is his best batter by far. Needed him to be almost perfect, and he has not been. And that's a big reason why that team is doing so bad right now. So. Another favorite thing here. So again, we've been tracking receiving mistake pitches, and for whatever reason, you've got Freddie Freeman, BGO, Willie Castro. Here's my guys are just dominating the top. Like they're getting mistake pitches, they're just doing nothing. But for whatever reason, 10-point Tony Walters is just making the pitchers shake on the mound. Something about, I don't know if it's his mustache, like they're making him nervous, and they're just throwing, basically just softballs over the plate for him to do. I think he's done pretty well. He's a 1 to 6 out, so I'm sure he's own charted out, pretty often. But a lot of times he gets the mistake pitch, and it's not even on his chart because a lot of these guys are control 5 or control 6s, and it's going to go above what he would even be. So he's rolling a mistake pitch die on the pitcher's chart, which is just a blast. So. I think the next things I have, I'm going to get to some starters, but, really quickly, I'll go through some other things. Nothing really crazy here, but, Cabrian is just being ridiculous. We all know that. He has a ton of RBIs, too. Aaron Hicks has the most walks. I think he also has the most stolen bases. Yeah, he has 7. He's tied with Jason Hayward. And my God, my boy Tim LeCastro. Maybe I'm a bad manager and I shouldn't send my guys that often, but he's gotten caught a lot. He's made it 3 times, but he's been caught 3 times. So also my guys dominating the K's, so that's not great. Marcell Ozuna and Willie Castro are just striking out like crazy. So anyway, that's some great hitter stats. Let's jump into starting pitching. So of course, most of these guys, they've only all pitched. These first 2 of the rotation have pitched 2 games. The others have 1. So this is the state is a little off. But you've got guys already with 2 wins. Kenta Maeda, has 2 wins. He also has second lowest WHIP. And this is a blast, and we're going to go through this. But look at the top 4 of the WHIP. You've got one guy that's 540 that you're spending the money, but then you've also got 2 guys one guy under 200 and two guys at 10 points. So this is the 10-point thing. I've talked about this. I wish my 10-pointers were here, but they're not. So, but that's, again, this is a very small sample size already, but, Kenta Maeda doing super well. Makes sense. That card is just bananas good. Let's see. Trevor Bauer has the most strikeouts at 28. He does have 2 wins. I saw him. Oh man, I'm not gonna rub salt in my boy Nate here, but he had, that team could be even better. He had a game he took from Bauer. He was up and he just left one of his pitchers in too long, and the guy immediately gave up a home run or a double something, and the game was tied. And then Bauer just shut it down. Beyond then, so it could. But Bauer has 2 wins. Could have been 1 win. He had 1 bad outing, and that was a chance for him to lose. And it just, his hitting backed him up. So. So that card's great. That makes him. He's a 1-8 strikeout. Of course, he's going to have a lot of Ks. He pitches a ton of innings. He's gone 17 innings in 2 games already. Michael Wacha. So I think maybe I've said it right. Lowest whip, given he's only pitched, I think, 1 game. I think I saw him pitch another. He did all right, but I mean, this card is fantastic for 10 points. I mean, we've talked about it. It's a 2 control, like out through 17. Like, it's not even there's no double. It's just a home run. I mean, if this guy, again, I've said with 10-point starters, if they do okay, that's fine. If they do well, holy smokes. If they do bad, you expected it, right? Like, I mean, I know that Nate, with having him on the Ducks, like, Nate is going to pull him when things get bad, right? Or it's just his 4th game, and he said, if I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose. But if I can win this one, if I have a chance, I'm going to go for it. So that's good. So I got to look at the bad things. So, right now, I think maybe he just had a bad second start, but I believe that DeGrom is not DeGrom has the most hits given up at 22. This is T800s. Like, he has great pitching, but he can't give up the most hits. Like, he's just having 17s and through 20s rolled on him, and it's just, I mean, it also shows why walks are so important. But my God, I something, T800's got to turn it around. I got to see them in the playoffs. So, and then Blake Snell. This is kind of a good example of, Matt's pitching. Spent the money, right? Got these great tiered pitchers, but, they do things like give up the home run. So instead of maybe that 20 double, it's a 20 home run, which I think for this is a great card for 360. But whether it's on his chart or not, Blake Snell has given up 8 home runs. So that's not good, right? Spending 360 points to get 8 home runs hit off you is just a disaster. So, hopefully that kind of evens out a little bit. So I think right now I'm going to get to some relievers. Yeah, so let's hop over to relievers. There's, again, same thing, small sample size. I'm not sure how much I can kind of derive from this, but wanted to at least shout out my guy who has the most innings pitched that I think is single-handedly breaking Showdown because he's basically a starting pitcher. Jesse Hahn has pitched almost 14 innings. What my strategy has been, just because this is the rules we went with, is that basically, I've talked about the reliever rules, but it kind of invites you to, in my case, have 2 bullpen squads that I kind of alternate on given games. So, Jesse Hahn is pitching on, the game 2, game 4, game 6, whereas Nick Anderson is doing more game 1, and his squad is doing game 1, game 3, game 5. And I can interchange them and toss them for an inning if I really, really need them, which I will do. But I've had Jesse Hahn go in. He's pitched about 3 to 4 innings every single game, which is a little bit breaking it. But and I think we'll probably adjust the rules in going into a next season so that can't happen. But we probably need more bullpen guys. But he's doing crazy well for me. He's doing exactly what I wanted. He's not, my relief or my starters do let up some damage, and then the relief staff is coming in and just shutting it down, which has happened. So, he's got, I believe, one of the, I don't know if he's on the lowest, again, ERA. There's such limited data here, but Hunt, he's given up some runs, but nothing crazy. So let's check out Alex Colomb. So this one's funny. He has 2 wins, which is great. It means that Nate had him in and somehow got the lead and got the win. But he also has, let me find it. I believe he also has 2 blown saves. And, or maybe it's, there's saves. So we've got a couple guys, blown saves right here. So he's got 2 blown saves. He's the only guy with 2 blown saves right now. So 2 wins, 2 blown saves. That's a wild stat, kind of chart for him. So, I'm going to end with this one because this one, I don't want to rub this in my boy Wind Dancer Pete's face, but Ryan Presley is the only pitcher, starter or reliever, with 3 losses. We have not had, their starters haven't even played enough games to get 3 losses, but Ryan Presley is like, hold the phone. I'll lose these. I'll lose more games for you. So he is, I saw it happen this past week. He threw him in. He's super good. He's Tony Armas Jr. in a card form. He's great. He shouldn't be blowing games this much, and he came in, instantly gives up the advantage, instantly gives up a home run. It's just, he's just been blowing games for Wind Dancer Beat. So I have to believe that's not going to continue happening. But we're gonna see. But yeah, let me. I'll kind of. I'm gonna zoom in a little more so you can kind of see the full stats here. So I'll kind of go through them and show if there's any other things. But it's going through each. Cabrian with the hits. Trey Turner, Mike Trout with runs. Alex Boehm with singles. Freddie Freeman, Biggio. My guys are hitting doubles. That's what I wanted. And then Trey Turner with home runs. Cabrian with RBIs. Marcell Ozuna, ton of Ks. That's great. And then let's go back to starting pitching. I can show the full chart, so I'm not so zoomed in, but I want to make sure you guys can see it. But 2 wins. I mean, this is not a surprise. Look, the guys who have 2 wins have a lot of points. That's not a total surprise. There's nobody below 460 that is 2 wins right now. And given that's the 1-2 starters, it might change with the 3-4 once they pitch their series. But and then I didn't show it, but Sandy Alcantara, that card's great and should not have 2 losses, 470 points. So that's devastating for the Ducks. But I think that's their only 2 losses is Sandy Alcantara, which is wild. DeGrom just needs to do better. Alcantara is walking a ton, but that's a walk-heavy chart. And then let's hit up relief staff, and then I can finish this out. So, like I said, Han with the innings. Klom has wins. Presley has losses. Got Rafael Dolis and Cal Quantrill have 2 saves. That's great. That Quantrill card is just fantastic. It's a 2 IP. I think he's a control 5 out through 16. That card rocks, and he's come in at the right time. He is no pun intended saving Raleigh Fingers right now. So you've got some guys with a lot of earned runs towards the top. I got to almost do an inverse one with least runs given up because I think that's kind of what ERA does, but I think it makes more sense when we're talking about limited sample size. Jesse Hahn has a ton of Ks. Jesse Hahn also has a ton of walks, but he's pitched a lot of innings, so that's not a surprise. Nick Anderson, that's my guy, which he's done all right. I don't think he's done bad, but he's giving up some hits. I think that's also innings based. If I go up here, I think he has, he's Nick Anderson's number 2 innings pitched. So it's not a surprise, but I'm dominating reliever innings. And then Evan Marshall with 4 home runs given up I don't know that chart off the top of my head, but that's Steamers. It seems like Steamers are just giving up a lot of home runs, and that's why they're having trouble. Pretty balanced across mistake pitch thrown, and of course ERA is just going to be, it's a lot of zeros because some guys haven't given up anything, and also WHIP. A lot of guys haven't given up pitched enough innings to even have anybody get on base. But Jeffrey Springs, Nick Turley at 0 below 100 points, good for them. So anyway. Appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully that I didn't want to have that go too long. I really just want to give you guys a quick breakdown of what the league's looking like right now. We're a quarter in. We just started week 4. It's going to be a 24-game season. So still, even by the end, it's going to be wonky stats. And I think we're going to see some fun things. Even though he's like the villain, I'm rooting for, I want Cabrian Hayes to just keep going bananas because I just think it's a blast. It's just awesome. That we all felt it, and seeing that card do well is great. But going back to the teams, kind of as we went through some of the things, I'll just show the standings here. I don't think T800s are going to continue being that bad. I think that the dice have a vengeance against AJ for some freaking reason, and he's got to do some praying towards those dice gods because he needs them. So that pitching will bounce back. I think that 100 Thieves being number 1, I'm not surprised. I thought it would be Judgment Day and 100 Thieves. It's just it happens to be the 100 Thieves are just raking, just dominating raking, and their pitching is showing up too. Angel in the Trout Field, not surprised. Look at the rest of that division. I think Mighty Muskie Minotaurs, I thought that would be the worst team in that division, given small sample, but their pitching might get them in games. It might keep them in the game. I didn't think that would be the case because their hitting is weak. It's really like it just falls off a cliff halfway through. But maybe I'm wrong. Like maybe something's going to happen there. I mean, they're not giving up a lot of runs, but they're not scoring a lot of runs. So I think that's what's going to happen. And then looking at our division, I think the cardboard cutouts division, and I've heard other people say this. I think the cardboard cutouts division is the best division in the league. Not just in the records or anything, but I think that big dogs are. I knew they would be a favorite in this. I think I had them a second. Oakville Trojans are definitely better than they are just because they've gotten so many own chart outs that would probably, if you cut that in half and get to the average, I would hope that would kind of leverage one more win. And then I think I was 1-4 and I finally won my last one. I was the best 1-4 team. I mean, Nate and I played. I could have taken one game if not two from him, but he swept me. So I really think our division is a toss up. So anyway, well. Hope you all enjoy. Shoot me some questions if you want to, if you have any, specifics about this, about what's going on, but just wanted to walk you through what we're doing. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later. All right.